Hey, look at this. I think this is an interview panel, right? Yes. So, I think that person is going to get interviewed, but why? I think there are some job roles and these job roles have to be occupied. And for that, they are hiring. Oh, so we need to talk about HR. What is HR? Human resources, right? But why is it so important? We are going to see how these people are going to get hired by the company. And that's where the abilities and skills are very much considered. Oh, so let's learn about human resources in detail. Hey budding charms, I hope everyone is doing well and we are back with the next one short session on the topic called human resources, and this is nothing but chapter number 5 of geography. My name is Aishwarya Sindhu Ramachandran and I am your geography educator, and please pay attention throughout the class and try to take down the important points. So let's dive into our contents. So we are going to discuss various topics today. We'll start off with human resources, Earth's population, density of population, factors affecting density of population, population change, causes of population change, population composition. So these are the various topics that we will discuss today. So without much ado, let's dive into our session. So here we are going to learn the basic definition of human resource. What is meant by that? Population of a country needs to meet the demands and consider people's abilities and skills as useful resources. So let's take an example here. So I am your teacher, right? So I have certain abilities and skills so that I can make you learn. That is what the reason an academy is using my skills to make you learn. So I am a human resource. Are you getting the point? Yes. So let me break it down for you again. So when you look at these demands, what are the demands? People need to learn, right? For that, they need educators. So educators are very much essential for the country's population. Why? Because it is a demand. Clear? So to fill that, they have hired us as educators so that you can learn from us. Clear? So as in the same way, you can say that human resources are very strong in terms of resources. Why? Because human skills and abilities can be considered up to a great extent. Therefore, this can be utilized to meet the demands of the population. So to occupy various job roles, these skills and abilities are essential, and therefore human resources are very much important for the whole population of our country. So that's a part of it, and now we are going to learn a few more things about it. Let's get into the next part. Now we are going to talk about Earth's population. So when you consider Earth's population, it's not uniform at all. You can find certain areas where the population is very high. At the same time, we can find a few areas where the population is very less, or it can be considered as uninhabitable. But what is meant by pattern of population? Let's see. The way in which people are spread across the Earth's surface is known as pattern of population. As I told you, the population is not uniform, but the way in which the people are spread across the Earth's surface can be considered as pattern of population. And over 90% of population lives in about 30% of the land surface. So if you consider whole land surface, about 30% is occupied by the people. Clear? And the total population is more than 100 million people. Oh, that's so huge, right? Yes. Now we are going to talk about pattern of population. What is it exactly? So when you look at this picture, you can see that the population is not uniform, right? Some areas are crowded and some areas are sparsely populated. So crowded areas, South Asia, Southeast Asia, Europe and North America. Less populated areas are high latitude areas, tropical deserts, high mountains and areas of equatorial forest. Based on this, we can understand that the population is not uniform, and there are multiple reasons for it. Why this population is not uniform? So that's what we are going to learn now. Let's learn in detail. So now we are going to discuss about density of population. What is meant by that? The number of people living in the unit area of Earth's surface can be called it as density of population. Average density of population is given by 51 persons per square kilometer. So when you consider a square kilometer, it has around 51 persons. So think about the population, right? Yes. So South Central Asia has the highest density of population, followed by East and Southeast Asia. So if you get a question that which area has the highest density of population, you have to say it's nothing but the South Central Asia. Clear? So now let's learn a few more things about it. So we know that the population is not uniform, but there are certain factors affecting it. Why there is a difference in population, or why there is a difference in population among these areas? So that's what we are going to learn now. For that, you need to understand the various factors affecting density of population. So the first one is geographical factors, second one is social factors, third one is economic factors, fourth one is cultural factors. But when you consider geographical factors alone, it has various factors inside it. Topography, climate, soil, water, minerals, etc. So now we are going to learn this one by one. So please keep learning. Ooh, what is this? You can see that it's all about topography. So people prefer to live in certain areas where they can build agriculture. Right? Yes, because they need to meet their basic necessities like water, food, etc. So for that, they need to live in these kind of areas, right? So people prefer land suitable for farming, manufacturing and service activities, and crowded areas. What are they? Let's take an example here, the Ganga Plains. Less populated areas are Andes, Alps and Himalayas. Why Himalayan region is considered as uninhabitable? Why? Because the topography is not perfect for agriculture or farming or any kind of manufacturing activities. And that is what the reason people are less populated in these kind of areas. Oh, so climate also has a good influence on this. What is that? So when you look at Earth, you can see that the Earth's climate can also be a part of population, or it also affects the density of population. But how? Let me tell you. So people avoid extreme climates. For example, if the place is too hot or too cold, can people live there? No way. So that is what the reason people prefer to take moderate temperate regions so that they can live properly. But if they consider these kind of areas which are having extreme climates, those areas are not going to give them a good life. So let's take an example here. Sahara Desert. We know it's very hot, right? So these regions are not appropriate for the population to concentrate. Similarly, polar regions of Russia, Canada and Antarctica, extreme climatic regions, right? You can also say that Antarctica is considered as one of the polar regions, right? So these areas are having very cold climates. Therefore, people cannot live there. Or people prefer to take the places which have moderate climates. Oh, look at this. You can see that soil is also one of the factors. But how? Oh, so if I want to make some agricultural activities to happen, the soil must be fertile, right? Yes. So fertile soils are suitable for agriculture. If the soil is not of that kind, then people may find difficulty on that. So examples can be fertile plains such as Ganga and Brahmaputra in India, Nile in Egypt. So these are the areas where the people are populated because of the agriculture practices that they can do there. Soil also has a good influence on this. Oh, what is the next one? Water. Without water, there is no life. Right? So water is very essential in our day-to-day lives. So people always try to live in places where they are more approachable to freshwater resources. Why? Because they need water for their day-to-day activities and also for their agricultural purposes. So for that, water is very important. So people try to prefer in areas where the freshwater availability is very high and it should be easily approachable. And let's take some examples here. If you consider a coastal region, the freshwater resource is very less, right? So people cannot farm a lot there. Correct? Yes. So we can say that people try to go for the areas where they can build agriculture practices more evident. Oh, what is it? Diamonds, right? Oh, so this is also one of the factors. Minerals. Areas with mineral deposits are more populated. Oh, UAE, right? So UAE has a lot of oil depositions and that could be the reason a lot of people are concentrated to these kind of areas, right? So what are the examples? Oil deposits in the Middle East, diamond mines of South Africa. So these are the areas where you can find the mineral deposits are available. So this could be a reason for more population in these kind of areas too. What about social factors? So geographical factors are over here, but what about social factors? Let's have a look into it. Oh, so I think people need to get educated too, right? So areas of better housing, education and health facilities are also considered. So people prefer to go for areas where they get better education, better housing facilities and also health facilities. That is also very, very important. And what are the examples? Pune, Bangalore, Mumbai, all these regions are crowdly populated. Why? Because these facilities are very, very high. So when you compare these areas with the rural areas, we can definitely say that the facilities are more in these kind of cities when compared to the rural ones. And that is what the reason more people are concentrated in cities like these to get all these facilities on time. Oh, which city it is? I think it's Vatican City, right? Yes. And there are other factors too. What are they? Cultural factors. Places with religion or cultural significance attract people, right? So let's take some examples here. Varanasi, Jerusalem and Vatican City also can be considered as areas where the cultural significance is very, very high. Clear? So these can also be considered as various reasons to attract people to live there. And now we are going to talk about economic factors. What are these factors? Industrial areas provide more job opportunities and it attracts more crowd. So to live, money is also very, very essential, right? Yes. To meet your daily requirements, you have to pay money. But how do you get money? By doing various job roles. So they always try to go for job roles where they can get the right amount of payment. Clear? So that is what the reason people try to move on to the areas where they get more job opportunities and it can also attract a lot of people to live there to get a better lifestyle. Clear? So examples can be Osaka in Japan and Mumbai in India. Oh, what is mean with that? Population change. So it represents change in the number of people during a specific time. Oh, so that means it is changing every single day, right? It's not constant. So until the 18,000s, the large number of babies born and died early due to improper health facilities and insufficient food. So there was a time in our history where people's number was very, very less. Why? Because due to the insufficient food and improper health facilities. But by 1804, the population reached 1 billion. Oh, that's so huge, right? Yes. But by 1959, 3 billion population. That means there was a population explosion. So when you compare 1804 and 1959, 3 billion population. That means 3 times the population of 1804. So this is called population explosion. The sudden rise in population can be called it as population explosion. Clear? So in 1999, 6 billion population. Oh my God. So 6 billion means it's huge in number, right? Better food supplies and health facilities are the basic reasons behind this boom. Clear? And there are various reasons for it. Birth rate, death rate and migration. So let's see all these in detail. Oh, beautiful, right? Yes. So birth rate is nothing but number of live births per 1,000 people. So number of live births per 1,000 people has to be considered to know whether the population is going high or not. Clear? So to understand better, to understand how the population is growing, we have to consider death rate as well. What is it? Number of deaths per 1,000 people. So if people are getting born, at the same time, there is another set of people who are dying as well. So these two things have to be considered properly to understand how the population is actually growing. And now what we are going to learn is all about natural growth rate. What is it? It's nothing but the difference between the birth rate and the death rate of a country is called natural growth rate. This is a very, very important term, so please don't forget it. Natural growth rate is nothing but the difference between birth rate and death rate. If you take the difference of it, you will get the natural growth rate. Clear? So this can be specific for a particular country. And now we are going to talk about migration. So birth rate, death rate. These two things are considered already. And now we are going to learn about migration. What is migration? People can move out of a country or within a country for various reasons. Emigrants are people who leave a country. So emigrants are the people who live a country. Immigrants are the people who arrive in a country. You might have heard about a lot of people who are moving to Canada, New Zealand, Australia for a better education, for lifestyle, for all these purposes, right? Because migration can be a reason in which a population change can occur. So let's take an example here. So if a person moves out of India to New Zealand, we can say one person is getting reduced in our country. At the same time, one person is getting added to another country or to the New Zealand. Clear? So this is the way the population change can occur. So international migrations happen in search of better employment, opportunities, education, and for lifestyle. You might have heard about people from your own family and from neighbors, those who are going out of the country for better education and also for various employment. Clear? So this is the reason behind the international migrations. And let's talk about some examples here. The USA and Australia, they are gaining the population. That means the population is getting increased day by day. What about Sudan? Sudan is actually having loss in population. Now we are going to talk about patterns of population. What is it? Rates of population growth vary across the world. It is not constant, right? So Kenya has highest population growth rate due to high birth rate. So Kenya has high birth rate. Due to that, highest population growth rate can be seen. Similarly, UK has a very slow population growth. Why? Because UK has low birth and death rates. Clear with the point? So I hope everyone is clear with the point, and now we are going to learn the next one. So now we are going to talk about population composition. Very, very important term. What is it? Population composition refers to the structure of population, and this helps us to understand the number of males or females, age group, their education, occupations, income levels, and health condition. So if you want to analyze a country's structure or country's population structure specifically, then you have to talk about population composition. So it can be represented with population pyramid or age sex pyramid. So these are the two ways in which you can represent these kinds of population compositions. So look at it. This is an example for it. So now let's analyze this particular population pyramid. So when you look at it, you can see that this is a population pyramid of India in the year of 2023. So this is the total population. And what is this blue? Blue represents males and pink represents females. And these are the age categories. So when you analyze these kind of pyramids, you can understand that 0 to 4, this is the age group. 4.1% is the male composition here. Similarly, 3.8% is the female composition here. And let's take another age group, 55 to 59. 2.2% males and 2.1% females. So this is how you need to analyze the population pyramid. Clear? And now we have come to the end of our chapter, and we are going to discuss a summary of it. So we started with human resources, Earth's population, density of population, factors affecting DOP, population change, causes of population change, and finally population composition. And I hope everyone really liked it. And that's the end of the class. We'll meet next day with an amazing session similar to this. Till that, have a nice day and goodbye everyone.